In web scraping, you can't do anything remotely useful unless you know about element interactions. I'm going over clicking, dragging, typing, keybinds, and a whole lot more. This is episode 3 of the web scraping series. Rather than Selenium, we're going to be using the Drition page library, which literally allows us to bypass Cloudflare and other bot detection websites flawlessly. If you aren't familiar with Drition page, I would highly recommend you to follow the 2-minute tutorial in the description. Suppose that this is the HTML of a page. In Drition page, the ELE or ELA method is used to find and create an access point to a page element. However, simply using the ELE method can be quite slow. If you want to speed up, simply add an S underscore to the start of the method. This gives a speed boost as it only reads the element in plain text. The only downside is that you can't do anything which involves JavaScript functionality with that element. If you need to handle clicks or scrolling, you must do them in the normal ELE method. If I want to access the class LOL, use the ELE method. Inside the quotes, write @class since we are looking for the class, followed by the class name LOL. There's a slight issue though. Since there are multiple elements with the same class name, the .ele method will only return the first one it finds. If you're looking for multiple elements with the same selector, you can use the .eles method, which also applies to the S underscore as well. This returns a list of all the element objects. On the screen includes all the search variations there are. Let's say you want to find all the children or the parents relative to the element. First, create a variable to the element like we did earlier. You can get an object list of all the children with the children method. If you know which specific child element you want to access, use the index in the list you created. You can also use the parent method in the same way, and it will return the parenting element. I'm now going to be using real web page examples. You can find the link in the description. If you are on Chrome, the keybind Ctrl-Shift-I will open Inspect Element. You can alternatively right-click the page and find the Inspect Element option. This will show you all of the code for the current page that you are viewing. To find a specific element on the screen, click this arrow and hover over anything and click. It'll highlight which element it is. I'm going to be building off of the previous video, so if you haven't already, the link is in the description. You can left-click on an element with the click or click.left methods. Here, we successfully clicked on the Home button. You can also do right-clicks, which work with click.right, but I don't see many situations where the right-click input will do anything useful. Finally, you can use click.middle for middle-clicking. Middle-clicking is a special case, because by default, it will look to return a page object. If the element does not have any response to middle clicks, it will instead create a runtime error, which should be handled. Use the drag method with offset x, y, and duration in seconds to drag the element with an offset. Use the drag_to method with ELE or location set to another element or offset, as well as a duration in seconds. This method will drag the element to another specified element or offset. The hover method will allow you to simulate a hover on an element. You can optionally add offset x or y as parameters to make it hover in a specific place. If you're filling out text, this will be useful. You can use the input method to write text into a text box. You can also use this method to run keybinds. Make sure that the keybinds are put into a tuple though. The fancy typing method is done through the actions object, but due to this video getting longer, I'm going to go over those in the next one. Use the check method to select or unselect a checkbox. To unselect, you must set uncheck to be true. There are a few things I haven't covered because I don't want to bore you. However, I highly recommend you to visit the documentation with Google Translate. I will warn you, when you use the search, it sometimes returns 404. In that case, just reload the page and it'll work. In the next video, I will be going over scrolling, mouse movements, and more into actions. This is only my 3rd video, so it would make me very happy if you subscribed.